going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chunky! I didn't say.
Get your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. Good morning. Hope everyone's well. It's beautiful here. Hopefully it's as nice everywhere you guys are too. Anyways, I've got a good one. It's yeah, it's a good one. This guy, this defendant, you'll see. You'll see. He's a little too okay. Not gonna keep going. You'll see. Before I hit that play button, you already know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. Let's go.
This is Ingersoll, and I do see where we have all three files up for today, so I apologize for that. Mr. Ingersoll is joining us again from Ross County Jail. We have both counsel present. So counsel, how did we want to proceed today?
Your Honor, thank you. I think Mr. Cruz is back in front of you, but just in case he isn't, I'm not sure what's happening with the sound. As I indicated, I apologize if I'm shouting. I really can't hear my own voice right now. But Mr. Ingersoll is prepared to take the offer that was made by the city in this matter on all three charges.
Okay, so whether that's you, Mr. Trush, or Mr. Hallman, can you tell me, well, first of all, are there any files that are going to be dismissed in their entirety?
Don't believe so.
Okay, so if one of counsel can tell me what the agreement is.
Would that be me? In file number, I just want to make sure I get it all. 6657, you would plead to an added count 3 felonious assault as a habitual second, and he would plead to count 2. And in exchange, we would dismiss count 1 and the habitual 4.
So does that added count come out to then?
It would be.
Six.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're asking for the MCL?
No, the maximum penalty for felonious assault is a bit.
Yeah, 6 years, Judge.
6. Thank you. Okay.
And I have to go file that file, so second.
Your Honor, I think I
Oh,
could.
go ahead, if you have it right there.
In the file involving the photograph, which I believe is 6704 FH, he would be pleading to use of a computer to commit a crime.
It's 6705.
6705, use of computer to commit a crime, and then in 6704, I believe he would be pleading to the obstruction of justice.
Okay, what's the maximum penalty on the computer charge?
That's a 1 year.
1 year misdemeanor?
Yep, and then the other is the obstruction is a 5
Yes.
year.
So Ms. Davis gets it, everyone gets it. In 6705, that's an added count 3. And
All right, I know it's slow so far, but just wait till the defendant starts talking. I guess this makes sense, but he's the only one that really knows what's going on. The prosecutors are kind of stumbling through whatever the plea deal was, and you can tell he's getting a little impatient. He doesn't show any aggression or anything. He's actually kind of seems charming for what he's charged with or what he's playing to. He's kind of charming in this video.
in 6704, it just. Yes. Okay.
All right, I think I got it. All right, Mr. Hallman, is that correct from your understanding as well? Mr. Hallman, you're muted.
That's my understanding, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ingersoll, have you been able to discuss this plea agreement with both of your attorneys?
I have, Your Honor, so I'm gonna be pleading to, so we're clear, it's gonna be a domestic violence, felonious assault, using a computer to commit a crime, and obstruction of justice, correct? And everything else is gonna be dismissed.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
See, they should have just asked him. He already knew what was going on.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. You can lower your hand. So in case number 246705, you're going to plead.
Was that a yes, sir, or a yeah, sure? What I think he meant to say was yes, sir, but what I think came out of his mouth was yeah, sure. If anyone knows the movie reference, let me know in the comments.
One count of using a computer to commit a crime. That's a 1-year misdemeanor. Do you understand that maximum penalty?
Yes, sir.
In file 246704, 1 count of obstruction of justice, that is a maximum penalty of up to 5 years and or a $10,000 fine. Do you understand that?
I do.
In file 236657, 1 count of felonious assault that carries with it a maximum possible penalty of up to 6 years. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And then 1 count of domestic violence in that file, which is a 93-day misdemeanor and or a $500 fine. Do you understand that?
I do, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any potential mandatory consecutive sentencing sanctions in this case?
I don't think there's any mandatory, Judge. Discretionary.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Ingersoll, are you currently on any kind of probation or parole that's going to be affected by this plea today?
I am, Your Honor. So following the sentence that comes from this court, I have to go to federal prison on a violation. So that will be a, as far as I know, that'll be a consecutive sentence. So I've got to do state time, and then I'm going to be put on an airplane and introduced to the federal system.
Okay, I just want to make sure that you were aware of that, so it sounds like you are. All right. Okay, with all of those things in mind, Mr. Ingersoll, what is your plea to each of those charges that we've discussed here today?
I'm going to be taking responsibility for what was named off, Your Honor.
Okay, you're entering a guilty plea.
Correct.
So I'm going to go through your rights with you. Right now, you have the right to have a trial. You have the right to be tried by a jury. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty. You have the right to have any witnesses against you appear at trial and to question those witnesses. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses on your behalf appear at trial. You have the right to remain silent during a trial and to not have that silence used against you, and the right to testify at a trial yourself if you wanted. Do you understand all those rights?
I do, and I waive them, Your Honor.
Okay. Also, you don't have an automatic right to appeal the plea that you're making here today. If you wanted to try to appeal your plea, you'd have to ask the next court higher up, the Court of Appeals, to hear your case. If they said no, then you wouldn't be able to go any further with appealing your plea. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor. In an effort to plea damage control, I will not be appealing this case. Just trying to get home to my kids as soon as possible.
All right. Has anybody threatened you with anything to get you to plead guilty today?
No.
Has anyone
See, I like this guy. I really do. He's saying the right things. He seems very intelligent. He's well spoken. And I know he's charged with some bad things and he's pleading to some bad things. But I feel like I don't know if drugs or alcohol were involved in his actions. Doesn't make him okay. But I feel like he's just like, you know what? I'm going to take all my responsibility. I did these things. I want to change my life around. He just doesn't come across as someone that doesn't give a shit, right? All right, let's go.
Promise you anything other than what we've said on the record?
Yes, that I will not be facing a state consecutive sentence, and the 2 felonies for the full will be dismissed.
Okay, so the plea agreement you're talking about that we discussed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Outside of that, has anybody promised you anything?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Is it your own free choice to enter this plea?
It is.
Are you pleading guilty to each of these charges because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, so Mr. Hallman, with regard to your file, which is the 236657, I'm gonna ask that you conduct some questioning of Mr. Ingersoll to establish a factual basis for the 2 charges in that case, please.
You're, sure. Mr. Ingersoll, you're aware of the charges against you regarding, and I'm trying to pull up the night in question right now. But on the night where it's alleged that you committed felonious assault and or other charges against your ex-wife, Cassandra.
Yes, we got into it. We started arguing.
Let me just ask you, let me ask you a question. At any point during that night, did you make physical contact with her?
Yes.
And did you make unwanted physical contact with her, as in she did not consent to it?
Maybe in her drunken state, she didn't consent to it, but yes. Kind of got me against the wall.
Well, and as we talked about this, as part of the plea process in terms of taking responsibility, and we're just trying to make that clear for the court that you are taking.
I am not contesting these charges, if that's what you want to know. Like I am taking responsibility for these charges, Your Honor.
Your Honor, are you satisfied?
Well, Mr. Hallman, we haven't addressed really any of the elements, so.
I'm sorry. I'm just having a hard time hearing, Your Honor. I have a double ear infection, and it's just that you're muffled. I'm going back and forth with him. That's all.
Yeah.
If the court wouldn't mind conducting it, or Mr. Trush, I would be grateful. I'm just having a hard time hearing my client. I know he's been talking.
Mr. Trush, are you aware of the facts in this file?
I'm not aware.
Okay, hold on.
Your Honor, if I may, is the court looking for, me and my old lady started arguing, she picked up a bottle of lotion and hit me in the eyes with it because she thought some chick left a bottle of lotion in my house. So she started pushing me and she hit me and I pushed her off of me and I slapped her for hitting me. Is that what you're wanting to hear, Your Honor?
Yeah, did that happen on September 10th of 2023?
That sounds about right. Yes.
And did that happen in Otsego County?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
And that was your wife at the time, is that correct?
It was.
Okay. And then Ms. Ruger, what's the felonious assault part of this?
Judge, he was initially charged with assault by strangulation. I think we were sort of treating this as like a lesser included offense to this for an actual basis.
All right, back to my earlier statement. He knows more about what's going on than anyone else does. His attorney's lost. The prosecutor's not on board either. And again, he should be 100% invested in his case, but so should his attorney. I know he's not feeling well, so we'll give him a little bit of a pass. But yeah, this guy should have just came by himself. And no, I'm not taking any shots at the attorney. I'm not.
There were some allegations that he had strangled her. There are a number of other physical allegations in the report.
So at this time, Your Honor, I will be accepting responsibility for the charges.
Counsel, I don't know what you want me to do. You guys are the ones with the facts here, not me. So somebody needs to ask some questions to establish the felonious assault. I don't care who it is.
The answer is yes, sir.
I understand, but we need to have a
Just
factual basis, so there needs to be some testimony about exactly what happened between you and your ex-wife that would constitute a felonious assault.
Well, if you're looking for, there was an argument that happened between her and her friend.
Your Honor, if I may, Nigel, at any point, whether you initiated the confrontation or not, did you at some point in an attempt to restrict your ex-wife from movement, put her in a sleeper hold of sorts?
I did, yes. It's called a guillotine. It's trying to separate a fight.
And the guillotine move was you put your arm around her neck?
I mean, that's how it's done. Yes.
Ms. Bruger, are you satisfied with that as a factual basis?
I am, Judge.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Are we-
Mr. Russell, then
Okay.
Mr. Truce, going to ask you some questions about the other issues. Mr. Truce, your two files, please.
All right, I know I shouldn't have found that funny, but I really did. Just that little exchange. The guillotine. Well, that's how it's done, and then he actually showed you how to. Again, don't do that to someone. Don't do that to someone unless you have like a self-defense reason to do it. But again, like I don't know why. I like this guy. I hope he turns his life around. I hope he gets back to his kids as quick as possible, and he cleans it up. I really do. He seems like when he's again, I don't know if drugs or alcohol are involved in this night. He already said his ex-wife was drinking, but doesn't excuse his actions. But yeah, hopefully gets back to his kids and stays clean and has this kind of mentality.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Ingersoll, can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay. On or around September 7th of 2023, were you here in Otsego County?
Yes,
And on that date, were you at home?
I was. Well, I went to the bar and work, but at some point during the day, I was at home. Yes.
And was your wife at home at that time as well?
We live separately. If you're asking if she came over to my residence, the answer is yes.
Okay. And at that time, was she on your couch?
She was.
Yeah.
And
Was
I
she
took a
dressed?
picture of her.
Was she
I took a
dressed?
picture of her.
Nigel, slow
No.
down for a minute. Let me ask the question. And there's a little bit of a delay. Was she
Okay,
dressed
so-
at that time?
No,
Did you take a photograph of her?
I did.
Did you send that photograph to at least one other person?
I did.
I believe that would, and when you sent that photograph, that was with your cell phone?
It is correct. Which is also considered an electronic device, which could be subcategorized into a computer. So I'm fine with that.
Ms. Bruger,
I'm satisfied with the factual basis.
thank you. Mr. Truce, obstruction charges.
Thank you. Subsequent to the assault, you were in the Roscommon County Jail, is that correct, Mr. Ingersoll?
And still here. Yes, sir.
And you were there on February 20th of this year?
Been here since September 25th. Yes, sir.
And while you were in the jail there, did you have conversations on the phone with, I think your then wife, now ex-wife, Cassandra?
Yes, sir.
And during those conversations, did you ever discuss the assault case?
Yes, sir.
I think that, and there was a provision of your bond which required you not to have contact, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you knew about that provision?
Yes, sir. And I completely disregarded it. Yes, sir.
I think that would establish the obstruction.
Ms. Brooker?
I agree, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, thank you. Ms. Brooker, are the people aware of any threats, promises, or inducements other than what's been placed on the record?
No, Your Honor.
And are the people satisfied that the court has complied with statute and court rule in the taking of this plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Truish, as to your files?
I am satisfied there's an adequate factual basis. I believe the court has complied with court rule, and I am aware of no threats, promises, or inducements.
Thank you. Mr. Hallman, if you can unmute, and are you aware of any threats, promises, or inducements?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied the court has complied with statute and court rule?
Yes.
So, Mr. Ingersoll, the court finds that your pleas are knowing, voluntary, and accurate. The court is satisfied there is a factual basis to support a finding that you are guilty of each of these charges. The court will accept your plea to each of those charges. We're going to set this matter for a sentencing hearing. Mr. Ingersoll, you have the right to be here in court in Gaylord for that hearing. If you would like to exercise that right, I would sign an order to have you transported here for the sentencing hearing. You can also choose to have that hearing by video as we're doing today. Do you know how you'd like to proceed in that regard?
I would love to see some trees, Your Honor. Some fresh air, even for a second, would be wonderful.
All right, so we'll set this for an in-person sentencing hearing here in Otsego. Ms. Brooker, I'll ask that you prepare a writ to have Mr. Ingersoll transported here. And then Mr. Hallman, you will need to be here in person as well for the sentencing hearing, okay?
All
I
right,
got a
yeah.
question. In an effort to keep him from having to drive 3 hours, would it be easier if Mr. Hallman could do this via Zoom? That's a lot of time in his vehicle.
Yep, I understand, but
All right, this is like reason number 4 that I find this guy charming. Again, I'm not excusing his actions. Don't put your hands on anybody. Yeah, without their consent, let's say that. But yeah, I hope this guy turns his life around. You know, he's going to federal prison, so he's done some things. I understand that. He does not have a good background, at least when it comes to the law. But he seems like he's trying, and I can appreciate that. Anyways, I'm gonna let this video play out. You guys have a great rest of the day. I am gonna try to put another video out, sometime mid-afternoon, and then as always, live tonight. Hope to see you guys there. And until next time, bye.
for sentencing hearings, it's really important that the lawyers are here with their clients in case you have questions, so that he can help you with that. So
I appreciate
okay.
it, Nigel, but I'll be there. I look forward to it, and I look forward to seeing everybody at the court too. I appreciate it.
I just have one more question before you guys kick me out of this thing.
yes.
Can we do a more prompt sentencing date than these dates have taken? I have a federal hearing on the 15th of May, and I would really like my state stuff to be concluded by then. That way I can get this show on the road.
So somebody from the Department of Corrections will be in touch with you for a pre-sentence report, and we'll get it scheduled as soon as that report can be prepared.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. That's all for this hearing today. That's all.